When you come over to the mat cutter, you're going to need to get out your supplies. You're going to have your mat board ready with all the markings on it. Your artwork can be over here or it can be at your seat. You're going to need 2 tools. We need the straight cutter first, because the first thing that you do is cut out the outside border of your mat so that it can fit inside your frame. You can see right now this whole mat board wouldn't fit in here, but if I go straight to this line, it will. So I'm going to move this to the side, move my artwork to the side, and I'm going to take this and look at my notes. I told myself to cut here and cut here. So when you're doing that, you can cut from top to bottom. This is loose, so I'm just going to slide this out of the way a little bit. Sometimes you have to take it off. This is so that you get a cleaner cut. So I'm just going to slide this underneath. Actually, for this one, we're going to use that for the bevel. So I'm just going to go right through here. And this bar just lifts up. I'm going to lay this down, and I'm looking straight down over top of it. And I am getting the mark right on there. So I'm going to have to turn this, and I'll show you right here that I have my line. And when I go down here, I'm going to have my line just barely to the right. So just like you're using an X-Acto knife or drawing your pencil line, you want to just see that pencil line there. I'm going to get my straight cutter because I want a straight cut. I'm going to take these little notches right here, and I'm going to notch them onto the rail. So let me show you that too. So that notch is right here, so it's going to kind of slide right on that rail. So I'm going to hold my hand firm on this bar. I'm going to spread my fingers out. I'm going to start off of the mat board, not totally off. Put that heel over top of the mat board. I'm going to press down. You can see how it has knuckle marks. This is a right-handed tool. I'm going to press down on the bar, and I don't have to press very hard at all, but it's just a cut all the way through. And please, 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 for safety reasons, make sure that you don't continue out and go right into your hip, because you could cut yourself. So I'm going to lift that bar up, and it's just cutting it in half, a nice straight cut. And we repeat, rotate, lay the bar down, line it up, and cut. And now what I'm going to do is rotate this. I'm going to put this bar down, and again, I can see just that sliver of information there. Here's where you want to be careful. I've got my bevel cutter right here. I have the same grooves, so I'm going to put my grooves in here. Before we just slice and cut all the way off, this time we need to know where to start and where to stop. So I'm going to put my support mat board, this is just the long one that's here. Put my support mat board underneath there. Put this here, line it up so that I can see that just to the right. I'm going to put this across here. Now here's where you have to pay attention to this line here. We have our pencil lines, so it starts with a guide right here. The manufacturer says start right here and cut the mat board there. I find that if I overcut a little bit, you get a prettier corner. If I go straight on this line, sometimes it doesn't fully cut through, and then it tears out that little corner and leaves like a little fuzzy spot. So I always overcut by about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm actually going to start there. This tool again is right-handed. You put your thumb down here on the left, your finger here, and you actually are cutting through. It takes a little bit of pressure. Cutting through there and pulling. Now my eyes are watching this point right here because it's going to tell me where to stop. I only want to cut the opening. So here's where the manufacturer says to stop, yet I go just a little bit over, and then you're going to pop this out. So now it's not inside the mat board, it slides across and it's ready to remove. I do not want to cut all the way through, otherwise I'm going to cut through my border. So I lift that up, I lift the bar up, I can see that I cut all the way through, rotate, repeat. all four sides. What should happen is I lift up and the whole thing comes out. I can check my work. And I can tuck it underneath here, take a look, and say, yes, it's not going to pop all the way through. And you can see that I have a little bit of wiggle room on if I want to go and crop out just a little bit there or over here. So I have that 1/8 of an inch on each side as some wiggle room on how I want to frame my artwork or mat it. So that's going to look really good.